All right. Well, before we see if this team shats the bed, we have some contracts to attend to. Logan Cook, you are going to be gone. Terrell Williams, we definitely need to re-sign you, even if it is just a one-year deal. He stays. Still have $63 million to work with. Matt Edens has no desire to stay. I don't think there's anybody else I have to worry about, except for Quincy Bradfield in Week 15. Cool. So money-wise, I hate to say it, but we might have actually been able to hold on to at least one first-round pick, but I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. Saving money and actually being able to upgrade the stadium a little bit would be nice, because our stadium rating, I think, is a 0. How much that actually means, I don't know at this point. With how this game works, it might just be, less people come because the stadium's trash. Which, if that was true, the Washington Commanders would have no fans left. So that's a rough place to watch a football game. All right, let's take out Josh Robinson from training. He's over 9,000 points. Edens is leaving at the end of the year. Devin Matthews, the linebacker, as opposed to that fullback. It is true, we likely could trade up. We likely could. You're implying the Commanders have fans. They do. They're a real passionate bunch. All right, Shakir DiCarvalho gets more well-rounded. That'll be his last upgrade point for a while. He did drop back down to Star Dev. He loves not staying at Superstar Dev. Emmanuel Paca. Keep our beautiful FedEx Fields name out of your mouth. Let's see. Parker has recuperation and mid-zone KO. Fair enough. Juan Gibson. Are you still at least Star Dev, Juan? Because I don't think you are. Okay, he is at least still Star Dev. Really thought he was going to be a bit faster of a developer than that. Terrell Williams also gets a little bit better. Ken Whalen at fullback. Beautiful. Beautiful. We still don't know how good he is, though. And then John Redd, the Miles Jack replacement, is a legitimate 90 overall. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. If we lose to Buffalo, we are in a bad... Both of us are in the same spot. If we lose this game, it's horrible for us. We need to win this. And we lost again. We're down to 5-7. And if I had to place my bets now, I don't think we'd make the playoffs. And I said that would be disastrous. I called that a potential disaster. And that is looking like what's going to happen. Just be here on the west, but I lost connection twice. Ooh. EA breaks, forcing me to play Fortnite or something. I don't even know what the hell I'd play if I couldn't play this right now. Mike Thompson gets a little bit better. A little bit better. Still don't know his dev pattern, and we won't until the end of the year. How'd the last offseason go? Good. We didn't sign anybody in free agency, and we didn't make a single first-round pick. So honestly, not bad. And then Romeo Cook. Romeo Cook. New O-lineman. Star dev for him. Not that bad. Not that bad. If we lose to 10-2 Cincinnati, we are definitely in trouble. As if we weren't already. Yeah, STP, it was, yesterday was weird. We ended up beating 10-2 Cincy. So we're back to 6-7 with 4 games left. Not currently in the playoff hunt. How do you decide if you're going to play the game? Only if there's a breakout moment. If it's a playoff game, we watch it. Devlin, 4 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in that game against Cincy. Very, very good. Very, very good indeed. It is week 15, so we should be able to negotiate with Bradfield. And done deal for Quincy Bradfield. So we got about $75 million in funds. So certainly, again, taking free agency off and the first round of the draft will get us right back into good financial standing. Despite the fact we had to spend a boatload, a metric butt ton, on keeping our franchise quarterback. And again, we are going to have to fire our head coach at the end of this season as well, which is something that I might want to do anyway, given that we might miss the playoffs. So that sucks. One way or another, that's not very fun. Player upgrades, Damien Pierce, still rocking an 84. It's already 27. Haven't I technically fired him 3 years in a row? No. No, I only actually cut him once. And that was at the beginning of this season, just to double check if there was anyone else available. Alright, Brendan Park still rocking that star dev. And then Presley at safety. Make him a little bit more well-rounded, get those lower ratings up. Plus 3-man coverage. God, he's only 23. I can't believe we got a player like that. Can't believe it. We play the also 6-7 Jets. Playoff hopes in the balance. We win. Are we in the playoff hunt officially? No. No, we're not. I mean, I guess we're in the hunt, but we're not currently in the mix. We have 3 games left. This is getting just a little bit scary. Just a little bit scary now at this point. Not ideal. Not ideal. You did knock the Jets out. That's true. Which is normally a pretty good consolation prize, but we need to make the playoffs again. The only time we've made the playoffs in this series so far, we made it to the conference final. So, good things happen when we actually do make the playoffs. But. I still think our best chance to keep a certain wide receiver is if we have a championship to our name. Let's see, Paulie Devlin. 90 overall now for Devlin. Definitely made the right choice that we're going to fire Stefanski to keep him. 100%. We take on the Rams. Both teams 7-7 in a very similar spot. We lose by 4. We have to win these last 2 games to have a chance at making the playoffs. Missing out here is really going to haunt us for a long time. Because if we lose Robinson, we're boned. His contract, he has 1 more year left. Then we could franchise tag him for a year. And then he's going to leave if we don't win a Super Bowl. So we have to win a Super Bowl this year or in the next 2 years, or we're going to lose Robinson. And if we lose Robinson, I quit. I will quit the Houston Texans and we'll go start a new challenge. Because losing that guy is like the death of a franchise. No offense to the Detroit Lions, but hey, then again, you've seen how they've done since Calvin Johnson retired. So, that was, yeah. Yeah, it's just this is we could be getting down to the old nitty gritty of this series, of this run. Cries and Seahawks. Fair. We saw how the Lions were with Johnson. True. Very true. Oh my God, Robinson's about to get another upgrade point. By the way, he is. I'm basically going to have to give him an ownership stake if I were to start a new franchise. Not sure what team I would do, but it would be a Draft to Glory run. Which, if you're not familiar with that, let me know. Well, number one, let me know if you are, because that way I don't have to explain it. But it is exactly what it sounds like. We only build through the draft. There's some other changes here and there that we can add, but Robinson, you are our highest paid player and now the offensive coordinator of the team. Jesus Christ, he's a 98 overall. The Commanders then move them. There are some teams that could be interesting, though, for sure. Hell, I could even fantasy draft it and just take the worst people possible to start off that way. There's always options. We lose to Jacksonville, we're boned. We won 8-8. It'll come down to the final week of the season. I don't even know if it's possible for us to make it at this stage. I don't know if it is. We got to double check. Odds are we're going to need a win and some help, is what I would think the situation is. It does not currently show us in the playoffs. It shows the Ravens in that 7 spot. The Jags at 10-6 ahead of us. What happens to be the Ravens' record right now? 9-7. We have to win, and the Ravens have to lose. The Raiders have to lose as well. Yeah, we need to win, and we need help. We need to win, and we need help. I think we have choked away a phenomenal chance at making the playoffs and actually doing some damage here. Which isn't great. Shit. We're actually going to miss the playoffs, huh? Like, actually going to miss the playoffs at this stage. That's insanity. But no, we haven't bankrupted the team. But, we still find ourselves in an interesting spot. John Red up to a 91. Just gonna sim it. We're gonna save the in-depth for playoff games, boys. Let's see if you can make it. You have to beat Tennessee just to have a chance. And you lost. No playoffs this season for the Houston Texans. Not great. Not great. Not great. For all the crazy moves and off-the-rail moments. Oof. Let's make it official. Let's make it official. Let's clean house on the coaching staff. We have made the playoffs once, and we made it all the way to the conference final as a result. Got the Sandman. What a name. All right, so we need to double check what the situation is. TSM Daquan, thank you for the follow as well. We need to double check. So he still wanted, yeah, strong arm makes sense. So we need to hire a coach that fits the bill for Mr. Devlin. So a strong arm coach. Son of a bitch, keep going to the wrong spots. It's really going to suck to lose Stefanski, but he just hasn't been the guy. We gave him plenty of time. A strong arm style would be vertical zone run or vertical power run. So vertical zone or power run. It's the type of coach we have to bring in. Let's make this official. Kevin Stefanski, you're fired. And honestly, let's clean house here. Let's clean house. Head coaches. Head coaches. Are there any good ones? I mean, there are these two guys that are complete nobodies. But are there any like actual good coaches? Nathaniel Hackett doesn't have what we need. Cliff Kingsbury has air raid. That doesn't work. Sean McVay. Oh, Sean McVay. Doesn't have the right scheme. Neither does Dennis Allen. Neither does Kevin O'Connell. Or Nick Sirianni. Ron Rivera. Well, we didn't bring him in years ago. But I gotta bring him in now because he's the only guy. Otherwise, we just bring in a complete nobody. It's gotta be Ron Rivera. After all this time, it's either Rivera or we bring in like Emmanuel Ortega or somebody else. So screw it. Let's bring in the veteran. Ron Rivera. Welcome to Houston. In terms of an offensive coordinator, let's find someone who lines up. So vertical zone run, vertical power run. Anybody else? +5, Roger Hughes has previously worked with Ron Rivera. Vertical zone run. I mean, honestly, we might as well just bring in. Let's bring in the Ron Rivera group. We brought in Ron. Let's bring in his coordinators with them. Let's hire the Ron Rivera led options. Okay, the defensive coordinator for Ron's not there. The defensive coordinator's not there. Ron likes to run a base 4-3. So 4-3 quarters. 4-3 cover. 4-3 under. Base 4-3 Josh Morton. Base 4-3 Ben Turner. 5-7. Not bad. Let's bring in Ben Turner. There we go. We have our brand new coaching staff. 400 points to upgrade them as well. Ron Rivera is here. Not bad. Probably should have brought him in a few years ago, but we'll bring him in now. Kevin Stefanski is out. With that, let's take a look at everything. A full season recap. Atlanta Falcons and Cincinnati Bengals, both at 14-3. One of the Bengals' losses was to us, I do believe. Yeah, the Bengals 14-3. The Browns and Ravens also made the playoffs at 9-8. Had we won, we might have been in on tiebreaker, but we lost that final game of the year. AFC South, Titans and Jags. We were at 8-9. Colts were even worse. AFC East, the Bills at 8-9 make the playoffs because that division sucked. AFC West to the Chiefs. Raiders, Chargers, Broncos all missed out. North to the Lions. The Packers make it as well. So the Lions really turned it around back half of the season. NFC South to the Falcons. The Bucks also made it. The other two teams were not even close. The NFC East, Cowboys and Eagles make it. Commanders at 9-8. NFC West, Cardinals make it. Everyone else not that bad. I mean, the Seahawks at 7-10, but based off of some of the other things that we saw, 7-10 record really wasn't that bad. Let's see. Stats, first and foremost, for our team. Paul Devlin, 5,300 yards, 40 touchdowns, and about 19 interceptions. How'd you get by with broken free agency? I wouldn't call it broken. I do like free agency. You just got to be careful. You got to be careful because sometimes you can send offers that you think wouldn't be accepted and they will be. So that can be a problem. It can get you into a bit of trouble. Running back wise, over 1,000 yards again for Damien Pierce with 8 touchdowns. Rookie Kirkpatrick also had 8. Quite a few rushing touchdowns this year. Receiving wise, Robinson's the GOAT. Over 100 receptions, 1,600 yards. Kitchens and Pickett all had over 1,000 yards as well. And 13 touchdowns for Robinson. Pickett was up there too. Blocking wise, the O-line struggled compared to previous years. That didn't help. That didn't help at all. Defensively, 132 tackles for John Redd. Was a busy boy. Sack leader with 12 was Josh Owens. And our pick leader with 4 was Stinger. Trout, 17 of 20. In terms of kicking options around the league. Again, at the end of season 6. Desmond Ridder led the way in yardage. He was the only guy to beat Devlin. He's an 83 overall right now, by the way. He is an 83 overall. Yeah, Desmond Ridder in Atlanta. New quarterback, Dallas Gilmore. You got Mac Jones, Josh Allen. Jen Meyer. Someone asked about Willis. Tennessee, who you take away the morale. He's only a 76. So he really didn't develop. 32nd ranked quarterback, 6 seasons in. Touchdown leader with 51 to 4 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, Jesus Christ. Trevor Lawrence went 45 and 8. Oh my God. 39 and 7, 39 and 8. Wow. There's some crazy splits there. Star depth for Justin Crawford, who was the #1 pick this past season for the Commanders. Pick leader was Paul Devlin, but not really, because again, we had that one horrible game where I overly influenced that. Josh Jacobs led the league in yardage. It's not Derrick Henry for the first time in a while. Touchdown king with 31. Mixon and Javonte Williams. So this was the year of the running game. Holy hell. 7 players? 6 players with 20 touchdowns or more. That's insane. Receiving wise, reception king was Cortland Sutton, 133. Yardage leader was Jerry Jeudy, of course, in Tennessee now, which hurts my soul. And the touchdown leader with 18 was Rashard Reed for the New York Giants. Best O-lineman was Ronnie Stanley. The worst was Shane Painter in Denver. Defensively, tackle leader was Ernest Jones with the Rams by 1 over Jerome Baker. Sack leader with 23 was Myles Garrett. The interception king with 8 was Tre'Davious White. Best kicker, I mean, at least in terms of most made, was Dan Carlson. Justin Tucker had the best percentage. So there you go. That is that's the deal in terms of NFL records, because we haven't looked for a while. Brady finished with 89,000 passing yards, which is insanity. We'll get to the season records too in a minute. Passing touchdowns, Brady finished with 671, Rodgers at 617, Stafford at 510, and Russ at 439. Rushing yards, Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry plays one more season, he'll pass Emmitt Smith for most rushing yards of all time. I saw the season thing. We're going to check both. Calm down, Lethal. Calm down. I wanted to see the all-timers, too. Nick Chubb's up there, too. Yeah, Derrick Henry might pass Emmitt Smith. Rushing touchdown leader all-time is Ezekiel Elliott already. Has Emmitt topped by 1. So Zeke is the all-time touchdown leader for running backs. Henry's 5 behind. Receiving yards. Obviously, Larry's 2nd. Devontae Adams is in 3rd. Stephon Diggs in 4th. Julio Jones in 5th, which is nuts. Cooper Kupp's up there, too. The receiving touchdown leader still, of course, Jerry Rice. Cooper Kupp at 132. Devontae Adams 129, so no one's going to get close. Lethal, it's all good. Most catches, Jerry Rice still. Devontae Adams like 305 behind him. Defensive sacks. Aaron Donald, 3rd all-time at this point. Oh, Julius Peppers, how I miss you. Defensive interceptions, Kraus still number 1. Doesn't look like anyone's all that close. And then the individual season records, so most passing yards in a season, Joe Burrow, 5,800 yards in 2024. He owns the top 2 records in terms of yardage. And you have Mahomes in 2025. Passing touchdowns, Manning still has the record with 55 in a season. Mahomes was 4 off of that. Joe Burrow also has a 50 touchdown season. Most rushing yards in a year was still Eric Dickerson. No new additions to that, really. I mean, Derrick Henry just under another 2,000 yards. Rushing touchdowns, there is the record. Joe Mixon and Javonte Williams not only both break the record, but tie for 31. Was Devlin up there for passing yards? Oh yeah, look at that. Devlin is 5th all-time for passing yards from last season with 5,500. So yeah, the rushing touchdowns in a season record has been broken. Formerly of Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander with 27 each. Most receiving yards, Cooper Kupp in 2025 had a 2,000-yard season, the only one in NFL history. He was just shy of that, 2 yards shy of that the year before. Receiving touchdowns, Cooper Kupp with 27. It's the all-time record now set in 2024. You had Robert Woods up there tying Randy Moss for 1st all-time. Most catches, Michael Thomas, which still stands from an IRL record. Defensive sacks, Von Miller set the record of 24 in season 2 and then retired. And interceptions, yeah, those are records that won't be touched. Those won't be touched. So yeah, there you go. And then Devlin has the record for most passing yards in a game. Hi, we set that earlier this season. How you doing? Didn't mean to do that. But we did it. Most passing touchdowns in a game, still a lot of people with 7, including Matt Stafford. Rushing yards in a game, still Adrian Peterson. No one's broken 300 in a game. Rushing touchdowns, the record's still 6. Receiving yards, Robinson set that record alongside Devlin with 335. And receiving touchdowns, 5 in a game. Still the max. 21 catches in a game by Brandon Marshall was fucking absurd. So that is this season in the books. No playoffs. Incredibly disappointing. It will be Cincy is the number 1 seed, Kansas City, Baltimore, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Buffalo plays Cleveland. On the other side, you have Atlanta as the 1 seed, Detroit plays Philadelphia, Dallas and Tampa, Arizona, and Green Bay. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be a new era for us next season with Ron Rivera as our new head coach, which means we can start pushing people towards being scheme fits. Again, we don't have a number 1 overall pick or a 1st round pick either. We do still have a lot of seconds. And again, we're going to want to play it a little bit safe with the money this off season. So I don't expect us to trade up at all. We need to save up big time to try to convince Josh Robinson to stay. Again, we got 2 seasons here. The way I see it, 2 seasons to win a Super Bowl, or Josh Robinson's going to walk once the franchise tag option runs out. 2 years to win a Super Bowl. It's a little bit scary. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. A smidge, I say. Oh boy, why is this taking so long? Got a feeling this is gonna drop me. This will be our 2nd only franchise tag. Got a feeling this is about to drop me. So that's fun. That's fun. We can edit the staff. Yes, I'm just saving points. I think if Robinson leaves, that should be the end. Let's be honest. It probably will be. How long is this going to take to load? Tune in next time to Dragon Ball Z Fortnite Edition. Da 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 da.